Lucid Motors may be getting ready to announce a delivery day for their first Lucid Airs. This news does come to us via Twitter about 7 hours ago. They announced that they are opening their third Los Angeles Lucid studio very soon. Now, we are going to go over exactly what I think this implies, as well as go over the likelihood of us retesting all-time highs upon any major catalysts that are on the horizon but have yet to happen. We are also going to go over their revenue forecast going into the future that they have set forth for themselves, while also going over the short volume ratio and a load of other positive factors. But we are also going to acknowledge the negative factors because I think that is important to do, and we have not done that on this channel thus far. I will say there's more positive than negative with this stock, and I do like CCIV at its current price. Now, as always, my name is Tyler. Do me one quick favor, make me one like button richer, tickle it, tap it, touch it, smash it. I don't care what you do, but make it turn blue for me. And now let's get into it. We are going to first take a look at the positives, because who doesn't like positives? And then we will take a look at the negatives. And I do think one of the biggest positives is that we have seen strong demands and pre-orders for their 4 models. We currently have over 650 million in anticipated sales, as well as they have continued to grow their brand acknowledgement. And this is key because not everybody knows about Lucid Motors. I think most people don't know about Lucid Motors right now. So once actually everybody is aware of Lucid Motors, we could see this exponentially jump in pre-orders. And it may already have. On the day that Lucid Motors reached a deal with CCIV, it had accumulated over 7,500 total vehicle reservations as of February. So this number could be much higher right now, and this could be a future catalyst to drive Lucid Motors shares much higher. But as for now, Lucid Motors estimates that its total revenue in 2022 will be 2.2 billion, going all the way up to 22 billion in 2026, leading to a gross profit of 34 million in 2022, and then by 2026 they will have a 5.2 billion dollar gross profit. As for free cash flow, which means totally profit, they will be at 321 million in total profits by 2025, and then exponentially growing to 1.5 billion in profits by 2026. Not to mention that these are some of the most powerful vehicles on the market, with the Dream Edition being around 1100 horsepower and the Pure, which is going to be the $69,000 vehicle, being at about 500 horsepower, which is still pretty incredible. Projected range in between 400 and 500 miles per vehicle. Also, these Lucid Air Editions will give you 300 miles for a 20-minute charge, as well as they are expected to be the first bi-directional charging system on the market. So if your friend's car got stranded, you could go charge his vehicle from your own vehicle. So this should relieve some range anxiety some individuals are going to have around EV vehicles. Although data on this is not certain, it is believed that up to 84% of the current shares of Lucid Motors are going to be held by long-term institutional buyers, with a majority of these private investors buying Lucid shares at $15 per share. Currently sitting at $21 a share, we are not too far off from what the big money paid for their shares. That is some of the positive about investing in Lucid Motors right now. But now let's take a look at some of the negatives, because there are some negatives here. CCIV stock trading at $22 implies a valuation of over $30 billion, as well as their revenue is expected to go from $2.2 billion in 2022 all the way to $22.8 billion in 2026, like we have already talked about. But that is a compound annual growth rate of 79.4%, and some people think this is factoring in way too much growth, considering the compound annual growth rate for the luxury EV vehicle sector is only supposed to be at 5% compound annual growth rate from 2018 through 2006. I do think there is an argument here that they have priced in way too much growth year over year. But even if you compare Lucid Motors' compound annual growth rate projections of 79.3% year over year compared to the total EV market, which is only suspected to be at 29% through 2030, I think there's an argument here that they may have priced in too much future growth. Even worse than a compound growth rate that is over twice as much as the overall EV sector, there will be 500 different EV models available globally by full year 2022, so there will be steep competition, and one can only wonder that Lucid Motors would have to adjust their pricing to stay competitive. We also have a lawsuit from Bronstein, Girdwitz, and Grossman LLC notifies CCIV shareholders of class action and encourages shareholders to contact the firm, saying that the complaint alleges that throughout the class period, defendants made materially false and or misleading statements and failed to disclose that Lucid was not prepared to deliver vehicles of spring 2021, and Lucid was projecting a production of 557 vehicles in 2021 instead of the 6,000 vehicles totaled in the run-up to the merger with Churchill, and 3, as a result of foregoing defendants' positive statements and that the company's business operations and prospects were materially misleading and or lacked a reasonable basis. When the true details entered the market, the lawsuit claims that investors suffered damages. So this is obviously not a good sign for Lucid investors, but I think they also have a point here, so they may settle this out of court. Now, surely there's probably more positives and more negatives, but I think these are the most important things to be concerned about when investing in Lucid Motors. I'm sure we could make an hour-long video about that, but who needs to know all of the individual details unless you are investing millions and millions of dollars or a very large amount? Some of that stuff is just not going to make a difference in your pockets. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the short volume ratio for today, and that was 20%, and we have consistently been over 20%, hitting a high of 23% and a low of 16%. So we are severely elevated around 21 to 22%, and upon any good news, maybe the Lucid Motors and Apple partnership or a delivery date, we could see a run or shorts, in other words, covering their shares and see a massive run to the upside. Even though Lucid Motors is projecting a very high growth rate, if you plan to hold this like I do for the next 5 to 20 years and not sell a single share, then I do think this is a great value. And I also do want to point out, if they do start building the Saudi Arabia factory that has been rumored, that the rumors have kind of subsided for now, if they do that, or the Lucid Motors Apple rumors come to fruition, and maybe they partner on a factory, then this total valuation could change at any moment. So it's better, if you believe in the company, that to ride it out, even though they do estimate for super high earnings, which I do think they will meet the criteria that they have set forward, but anything can change, and I do expect Lucid to do big things. And I'm willing to be patient, hopefully among many of you guys, at a $30 billion valuation. You cannot go wrong buying Lucid Motors at its current share price. Just don't sell. And that is not a recommendation. That is what I am doing. And if you consider all these other EV companies and their timeline to even be at full capacity of 365,000 vehicles, that comes out to $25 billion by 2025 to 2026. And that would be a phenomenal return if you value your Lucid Motors shares that you bought at a $30 billion market cap. Now they are doing $25 billion in revenue per year. Just do the math there. It is a crazy return that you would have. So it's really all about patience in this trade. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to get rich quick investing in CCIV. If you have 5 to 10 to 15, 20 years, you will get rich holding CCIV. It's just a fact, and everybody agrees with that. But people want short-term gains and fast money. So like I said, if you could be patient, you will get rewarded. When it comes down to it, bankruptcy or massive success? I am going to go with massive success for all of the factors that we have talked about in this video. Now, do I think CCIV stock can short squeeze? Yes, I do. With a short interest somewhere in the range of 20 to 22%, that does call for a short squeeze upon any good catalyst, and there is a number of good catalysts on the horizon. So I would not exclude the possibility of a short squeeze, but this could take some time. So if you're playing options with this, I wouldn't buy anything that is close to expiring, even 3 to 6 months out. I would play this with a bunch of time, because if we do short squeeze, you will still make a ton of money, but you aren't risking as much. So that is how I'm playing this. I don't have any options in this. All I have is shares. I do plan to buy options in this once we do fully merge into Lucid Motors. So that is what I'm doing. That is my input on Lucid Motors and their current pros and cons, as well as do I think they will short squeeze. That is what I think. I will see you guys later. If you have anything to add in the comment section, make sure to do that. I respond to every single comment, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell if you are not already. I will see you guys later. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out.